Chicago is freezing hiring and curbing other expenses to help close more than $1 billion in budget shortfalls through next year for the nation's third largest city.
Well, Cheryl, it's one thing that Brandon Johnson proved tonight besides winning a mayoral election. He certainly knows how to give a speech. I think you mentioned it earlier, certainly as a son of a preacher and a grandson of a preacher, it almost sounded like a sermon. He talked about that tonight proves that the civil rights and labor rights movement has finally won. He said this is a government that truly belongs to the city of Chicago. He also ended his speech by saying this is a time to celebrate the revival and the resurrection of the city of Chicago. This really is truly a remarkable win, given the fact that about 6 months ago, no one even really knew who Brandon Johnson was. He always liked to talk about how the fact that he was only polling at about 2% back in October. Obviously, did not do this alone, did it with a lot of help, especially from the Chicago Teachers Union. They gave him about $2.3 million. They also provided an incredibly huge ground game. Before his speech tonight, he was in
my kind of town, Chicago is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Friendship Pearson. Welcome to Friendship Blue. It is Saturday, September 14th of 2024, 2:03 in the p.m. How are you? Let's say it together. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. You are looking at Big Daddy Brandon Johnson. Yeah, nobody knew who he was 6 months before he became mayor. You know, Chicago has been known for pulling rabbits out of a hat. Remember Barack Obama? Basically unknown, gave a speech at the Democratic National Convention. Next thing you know, he served a couple of years, and then boom, he's president of the United States. Well, the man you're looking at basically followed the same pattern. Why do those type of things happen? I have a theory that maybe they weren't elected, maybe they were engineered and selected. And this guy who has put us in a hole deeper than we were, double than what we were. Here's Brandon. Now, look at his opponent, Paul Vallis. He ran for mayor before, and he ran against Johnson. And he lost. It took me a couple of weeks to come up with my theory. And my theory is that he was chosen, that is, Paul Vallis was chosen, someone who's, I think he was overseas doing something. All of a sudden, boom, he comes, runs against Johnson, and he loses. Of course, there were a myriad of candidates there, but Paul Vallis is a big name. That's what I think happened. I think they just had a guy run against Johnson to make it look like they were running. But the goal was to run Chicago into the ground. Listen to Vallis' concession speech.
I'm honored and humbled by all of your support. I ran for mayor to bring the city together, and it's clear, based on the results tonight, that the city is deeply divided. So tonight, even though, of course, we believe every vote should be counted, I called Brandon Johnson and told him that I absolutely expect him to be the next mayor of Chicago. And please, it's critically important. I mean, this campaign that I ran to bring the city together would not be...
Yeah, who does that? Who does that? You don't concede until you know. Know what, Pearson? Chicago is freezing and curbing other expenses to help close more than a $1 billion in budget shortfalls through next year for the nation's third largest city. Let's go down this rabbit hole to see just how we got here.
A nearly $1 billion shortfall. That's what the city of Chicago is facing for their 2025 budget. Mayor Brandon Johnson saying the city needs to find $982 million.
Sarah Maki is here after talking with some experts on their ideas to fix the problem. Sarah? Well, everyone I spoke with said they knew this number would be big, but this is nearly double the amount that Mayor Brandon Johnson faced his first year in office. And now he will have to make some cuts to existing spending.
Did you hear that? Double. I believe what Brandon Johnson did. He's like, I'm not going to go up on property taxes. That way, when he has to, a couple years down the road, he don't look like the bad guy. So listen to this again.
Sarah Maki is here after talking with some experts on their ideas to fix the problem. Sarah?
Well, everyone I spoke with said they knew this number would be big, but this is nearly double the amount that Mayor Brandon Johnson faced his first year in office. And now he will have to make some cuts to existing spending and find some creative ways to bring more money in.
The number was actually lower than what I anticipated.
Chair of the Budget Committee, Alderman Jason Irvin, says he'd like to see the mayor start with spending cuts, though acknowledging they need to find some new streams of revenue.
Now our economy has shifted to goods and services, and in other states, they tax such services such as dry cleaning and things of that nature.
That requires Springfield. Springfield's not coming to the aid of the city anytime soon.
Nonpartisan government watchdogs telling us the city needs to look within.
You think?
Well, this is big sticker shock for Chicago residents hearing about this budget shortfall. Today, it is nearly double what last year's fiscal year projections were, and residents now concerned about how the city will need to close the gap.
I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst. That's really basically all you can do.
Chicago resident Kathy Villanueva braces each time the city's budget projections are released. This time, there is a $982 million shortfall for 2025.
$1 billion it's a scary number, but it's a manageable number, I think.
The budget gap attributed to a number of factors: a reduction in corporate revenue tax, a $175 million pension payment to Chicago public schools, increased labor costs, and $150 million to continue supporting new arrivals.
In many ways, that is the biggest question mark surrounding the budget forecast that was released just today. The city, by all indications, has spent somewhere in the neighborhood of...
We've always had budget shortfall in relation to pension people. We've been managing that since the Daley regime. What we did not have, I'm going to say it again, what we did not have was this cost of the illegals. We got to keep this in perspective. So we'll go down the road, then I'm going to let Alderman Veal bring it out. And here he is.
Almost blaming yourself for this. Was it you? Was it the mayor's office? Who's to blame?
Well, it wasn't me, because I voted against every budget the last 5 years. And so it was definitely the guidance of the administration that really pushes the agenda as far as our budgets are concerned. And so when you look at our budgets, it's the mayor's responsibilities to present us with budgets. And, I've been fighting tooth and nail about all these bad decisions that have been made. And it's just right now, it's not enough of us in the city council to, really right the wrongs that are going on. When you look at the fact that we spent $814,000 on a wrought iron fence during the pandemic, knowing that we have a deficit, why would you do something like that? Why would we spend over $600 million on migrants when we have a deficit like this? Why didn't we have a hiring freeze or start furlough days back in March and April if you knew we had a deficit like this coming? And so there was no preparation. So it's just bad decisions.
Bad decisions. I don't know how your city is running, but this is how my city is running. I'm gonna do everything I can to work more with the different alder people here in Illinois. This mayor's gotta go. To me, he was brought in, selected. You might as well call him Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. Just a different color. The goal is to destroy it. And that's exactly what Brandon Johnson is doing. He's destroying this city. He eventually will have to tap the homeowner. And we will pay for that, not just only in higher taxes, but also in rents.
On options, but one alderman said the nearly $1 billion budget gap and the mayor's spending ideas would require property taxes to go up across the city.
And they're going to have to go up pretty significantly for him to close the gap that he wants to spend. But you know, you can't spend and expect taxpayers to basically continue to support your policies or plans that are more exorbitant than what we can afford.
For right now, all of these ideas are just that, options to consider. But in a little more than a month, the mayor will have to present a balanced budget for the city council to consider.
Watch breaking news.
Your time. The mayor.
I'll let you guys know in October they're going to battle this thing out. $600 million. If we got rid of that illegal issue, that would take care of a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, we've been dealing with deficits in terms of schools and other aspects, pensions. A lot of folks thought back in the day that was going to break the city. But this guy here, he's breaking the back of the city. I'm going to say it again. Every black person you see ain't about taking care of your people. He has classified the city as a sanctuary city, and he's done more harm in the last year plus he's been in office, or however long he's been there, to hurt black people. It's just ridiculous. And I don't understand how he can live with himself. He's the son of different ministers and grandfather minister. I don't get it. I don't get their form of Jesus. I really don't. I don't understand it. It's diametrically opposed to everybody who's trying to make it out here. And you would think that skin that he got would sink into his mind where he can start having empathy for the people that are here and put the people here first. He had no right to put illegals before blacks or anybody here in Chicago. And now all of Chicago people, all of Chicago is going to suffer economically because of the decision that he's made, particularly that of the illegals. If you're going through this with your mayor, governor, put it in the chat. What are you guys doing? It's just ridiculous. They have one goal, and that is the destruction of America in terms of economics, so we can go into a socialist system. I am convinced, because nobody could be that misled. I've done budgets in business. You do budgets in business. You do budgets in your house. You know good and well when you don't overspend. When you do, you pay for it. We shouldn't have to collectively pay for his bad decisions. He's made poor decisions. And my question is, who is he working for? I'm Franchot Pearson. If you like this work, please subscribe, thumbs up. Remember, this is the station. This is the program whereby you have to make sure that you're subscribed, because you might not get notifications. They take them from you. So make sure you're subscribed every day, and make sure you hit that bell. And look for the videos, at least 3 videos a day. God bless.